Hi, my name is Jacqui-lee Pryce and welcome to Shadowboxer. Before we get started, if you like our content, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification button and you'll be the first to know when we drop new content. Today's guest. I knew he was something special the first time I saw him box. He is a former England elite champion. He boxed for England. He was part of Team GB. He makes his professional debut, finally, on the 12th of March. It's Jordan Reynolds. How you doing?
I'm not too bad. I'm all good. Considering our conversation a minute ago, I'm all good.
we put the worlds to rights.
Yeah, we won't get started.
No, we won't.
Yeah.
So listen, firstly, I'd like to say I am so pleased to have you on, because I tell you what, I feel like I know you. I've been following you since the amateur days. I remember this crazy young kid in the ring. I'm absolutely stoked to be speaking to you today. Talk to me quickly. Started in Stevenage.
Stevenage Boxing Club, yeah, was at a pro gym. I started at a pro gym, and I just went to Stevenage just so I could box amateur. Then I was 15, 16, and the goal was always to turn pro at 18. But I had two amateur fights. They put me straight in the national ABAs, and as you know, you're boxing kids who are champions, world medalists, and 50, 60, 70 fights. I done well. I was learning on the fights. I boxed 6-7 times. Got to the national finals. Lost on a split decision to Isaac McLeod, world number 2, and then from then on, I analysed everything. I thought West Ham, Repton, they got about 9 or 10 lads in the final. I thought I need to get myself down East London, and then we was at it. And that's where it all started for me. West Ham, I got a lot of love for that, a lot of memories and love for that club and the people down there. It's holds close to my heart. I must say, yeah.
So listen, I recall, and again, I don't know if it was at the ABA finals that you just discussed, but I just remember seeing this kid who has got the biggest heart, slightly crazy, giving it 110%.
110%. Because I never got taught how to box. I never got taught, this is a jab, whatnot. It was just like, right, go to war. And my heart, the will to win, the determination just got me through every fight. Do you know what I mean? These kids were beating me the first round, computer scoring 6-7-0 up. But I'll just come on strong. I'll be there, and I was just breaking people down mentally and physically. Yes. So, it literally was just the will to win was getting me through it, getting me to these national finals, or if not winning it, then you get to a level where a bit higher, you need a bit more than just grit and toughness. You got to learn how to box. So that's when I started learning my craft through England and GB, and it's been a mad journey. It's been mad. It's great that you've seen that from the start, because it's mad. It's been great. It's been the amateur days. Like I said, I miss them. The small hall show, you can't beat them.
Do you know what makes me laugh? So thinking back to them times, there was, when we talk about going through the gears, there was no gears with you. There was no gears.
Straight from the bell. Boom, I was on it.
It was brilliant.
I couldn't let them, because I couldn't really box. I was just like, I thought, right, I need to be on their chest and just work them. Do you know what I mean? So it worked for me. It worked for me, and I done great. I done really well, especially in the juniors. I was stopping everyone all the way up to the ABA finals, and I was the only kid who was throwing the body shot, whipping people to the body, and really. It's funny enough you say all this, because it was yesterday. I was just on my old fights for West Ham and Stevenage. I thought, cool, I've been in some good fights. Do you know what I mean? Come a long way, So it's great. Great.
I tell you what happens is as a judge, I mean, we shouldn't say this, but it happens, where a kid's going to come on and everyone's kind of like, this kid's decent. And I love those days where you just, the moment where the room goes quiet because there's going to be something special on. And that's what I used to love about watching your fights.
Yeah. I was a bit of a crowd pleaser style, do you know what I mean? But which is kind of like, it's worked for me because I've built a great following for it. Do you know what I mean? And I come to talk of the amateur boxing, and yeah, listen, mate. I'll just whatever way I can win, I win. Do you know what I mean? I always find a way. That's the main thing. Good time.
So I want to take it back because in terms of, you know, boxing, you came into the sport quite late. What was the reason for coming into boxing?
It was literally, boxing kind of found me, you know. Like I was always brought up, you know, around fighting through my dad's side. There's 5 brothers, and they're quite old school. And my granddad used to be my idol. He was like old school. He was like a Mickey May. Like he was old school. He was a bouncer in London back in his day. So he was like proper, like, you know, making you watch Lenny McLean, Roy Shaw, Charles Bronson, all these. Do you know what I mean? All them characters. Do you know what I mean? So like, there was no softness in our family, and they would always just make us have little scraps and that with my cousins and things like that. Because like when you brought up on a council estate, if you kind of got to be brought up a bit rough and tough, otherwise you kind of are a bit of a victim, or you never want to get by. So yeah, that's what they done. And obviously I was into a lot of trouble, and seeing a lot of things I shouldn't have seen at home, and it was affecting me in school. Then they brought a boxing coach into the gym, and I remember hitting the pads, and it was the first time I ever felt like somebody. It was the first time I thought to myself, because as a kid, I was never really shown no love. I was never, you know, been told that I love you, the hugs, and things like that. I was never really given that, and like I was hitting the pads, and he was going, "Oh, beautiful, lovely, lovely." And I thought to myself, I was looking at this geezer, and I was like, "You're right." Like I think you're right. Do you know what I mean? But he was just like, I look back now, he was just building more confidence, but I felt it was the first time I ever felt the love, and I belong somewhere. I never felt that. I never ever felt that. And from then on, it's just like, you know, he said like, come. I said like, I want to get some money in the bank, you know, help my mum out and things like that, because we was homeless at one point, things like that. He said, yeah, come to the gym after school. 4 o'clock, be there. He said, if you're late once, you're not coming back. And I was like, I can't let him down. Do you know what I mean? I really want to box. Like I want to get this feeling again. So 4 o'clock, school finished at 3, and you know normally you go down the hill. That was the first choice. I always say, choices dictate your future. That was the first choice. I was like, instead of walking down the hill with the lads where, you know, we was doing some wrong stuff, you know, all sorts of bad stuff, you know, like, you know, just council estate, robbing people, making a few quid here and there, and getting into fights, tormenting people. Instead of doing all that, I was running up to my house, and then running to the gym, and yeah, I've done that, and then I eventually got kicked out of school, and then he just said be in the gym 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday to Saturday, and that's just, yeah, I just grew up in the gym, just molded me. It really did. It just made me into a character, and made me. I just found out how to channel my feelings, and just know how to be alright, you know, because a lot of people suffer mentally, like a lot of people suffer from mental health, especially some of my family will have been through the same as me and whatnot. I know I'm fine. Do you know what I mean? Like I know my ways. Do you know what I mean? Like, so boxing is boxing, and interviews like this. I always say interviews and things like this. Like this is part of my, like, this keeps me sane. This is like it's like therapy. Like I just thought. Do you know what I mean? It's just boom. Do you know what I mean? So like, and it's great because you can, these things here, they inspire kids, especially on the estates and whatnot. It gives kids hope, especially now they go, God, this kid can do it. He can do it. Why can't I? It's possible. Do you know what I mean? I was a down and outer, no GCSEs, no college, you know, homeless, refugee, in a refuge house, and with my mum, and then, do you know what I mean? So all I done was just separate myself and just stuck at something, and then I'm here. Things could be a lot different, but yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
If you want to talk about stories, right? For me, you saying that, you know, I came from a really hard background and it was really difficult and I was doing X, Y, and Z, and yet there was something about you, the determination. We saw it, the determination, but also there is a warmth in you because you see it through your social media. I'm going to be totally honest with you. So it's almost like quite contradictory, these two characters.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So I want to go back to this whole period of when you were younger and that whole You know, when was the moment when you thought, do you know what? I love this boxing, but I have to let go. I have to let go of these relationships in order to basically prosper in boxing.
It was because as a kid, right, I was walking around West State with a lot of hate on me, man. Like I was with a lot of hate, like hate, and I was always told to hate my family and hate my dad, or just that. I had all the family saying that, and I had my family going, "Oh, you're not going to be anything. You just be like, it's like my future was always paved out for me." Do you know what I mean? But when I went to that boxing gym, right, the hate went. All I wanted to do was love, mate. It was weird. All I wanted to do was love, right? And it was like literally the first few weeks when I was working at there 10 till 10, and I thought to myself, nah. And I actually went to my granddad's house and I said, look, Dad, I want to be civil. I know you've done wrong in that. I just want to be civil. And people hated it. I just didn't want to hate. I just couldn't hate anymore. I hated it for so many years. Like I was walking around in the state with a knife. I just would have. Oh man, just yeah, man. Like I can't even explain all that. And but it just went like it just released. I couldn't hate anymore. And yeah, it was just by going to the gym, and then as I'm climbing through the rankings, I'm doing my thing and that. I was just looking. I was maturing because I was around older men, older lads. So I just thought to myself, now I don't like this. There's more to life than doing this, and like I don't know. I kind of just broke through. Like I just kind of broke through, and started thinking positive things were happening. Like, I never thought I'd drive. I remember I never thought I'd drive, and do you know what? Like I remember I bought my first car. I thought, man, I was only a Corsa, but like. I was like, fucking hell, like, I've done alright, like, I'm actually trying, like, I never thought, like, saying, you know what I mean, but then, just over the years, I've progressed and done better and better and better, it's just by surrounding myself with good people, you know, like,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, I love my proper family, I love my family, I love my family, and I love my nephew, I want to change the generation, do you know what I mean, but, like, sometimes family and friends ain't the best for you as well, and, do you know what I mean, so it's like, you kind of got a bit of a balance. You got to kind of balance it all out. Do you know what I mean? And I've always been on the move. Do you know what I mean? I've always like when I walked to West Ham, I was 17. I actually moved to in Essex with a random family. Do you know what I mean? I didn't even know it. Just to be out of the way from the negativity and all the stuff going on. Do you know what I mean? And that there really it saved me. You know what I mean? Just kept building me, and it's just pure resilience. Do you know what I mean? Mental tough. I'm a big believer in mental toughness and clarity in your brain. Do you know what I mean? And we don't get that enough. We don't get taught in school or anything. So I think it's key, and boxing does help with that, but we need to apply it more, especially when the generation coming up.
I have to say, listen, I heard that you used to travel, I think, from wherever you were living. Was it Stevenage at first, and then travel to West Ham? You used to get on a train and travel as. Yeah, I mean, that's quite big, because I'm going to break that down. Listen, it's hard enough to get to training anyway, isn't it?
Oh my God, yeah.
But for you to as a young person to be travelling to get to training on a regular.
Yeah, 16, 17, had no money, so I started to sell my clothes, my PlayStation. My mum was selling some of her jewellery. That was enough money. I was like, right, I've got enough money now. And you know what mums are like? It's East London, it's dangerous. And I'm like, listen, mum, it's an estate's a state. I'm sweet. Do you know what I mean? So, anyways, I persuaded her. Got enough money for about a month. Well, we didn't have enough money, right? There's enough money, and yeah, I used to get the train to St Pancras, take about 45 or an hour, and then from St Pancras we'll go to Plaster Station, which would take about half an hour, 40 minutes, and I was doing it every day, and yeah, it just paid off. After being with West Ham for the first 3 to 6 months, I won my first national title, and then I was old enough to work, and I got a job actually in St Pancras for 4 or 5 hours. Then I would go to training after, and the hours was working. I was only working 3 or 4 hours a day, but it would pay me like £500 or £600 a month, and that would just be enough for my training every day. So yeah, man, like it's all good.
Obviously, there was a tipping point. Who was the person that kind of gave you the most encouragement? You know, you were saying that, I'd never had that. Who was that person that you were like, wow, this is, Because as coaches, I don't think people realise how much effect you can have on a young person. Who was that inspirational person to you?
There was a boxer called Graham Earl. He had his gym called House of Champions. He was a professional boxer, and like he he was just complimenting me, and I just felt really like, whoa, man. Do you know what I mean? And I went down the gym, and I got put in my place when I come down the gym because he had pros, and I was in there, and I said I want to spar. He was like, he said you can't spar. He said these are pros, you never. And I just thought when you don't know boxing, it's like any person who watches it on the couch. So you just think, oh, go in there. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, nah, and I kept saying every day I was going, nah, go on, I'll do it because he's only tiny. Do you know what I mean? So I thought, and the geezer put me down twice with a body shot, and I thought to myself, these are men. I was only young, and I was like, wow, man, this is an art. This is serious. Do you know what I mean? And just the whole of like how, but going there so hard, getting knocked down, and showing the love and whatnot, just made me want to go there, even though it was so hard and things like that. I was clean in the gym and everything. I loved it. And
Yeah.
it was really out of my comfort zone because he started bringing in schools, and I was a kid. I couldn't even talk to anyone. He'd bring in like kids from the naughty schools, and I would teach them boxing, and then I was teaching people boxing, and I was just growing. I'm all about growth, man. Got to keep growing. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, it just grew me up.
That experience feels like very much like you were able to kind of, it sounds a done it, but it's like you were fighting your demons because you've gone in there with heart, and it's like, actually, number one, there's an art to this, but number two, I can use this as a tool to greater things in a respect.
For sure, and like I think a lot of people, you either got that or you ain't, because you get some lads there, they're born with all the ability. You've probably seen it judging. They've got all the ability. They look crisp. They look lovely on the eye. One things get tough.
It's true.
Starts to flat.
It's true.
Do you know what I mean? They swallow it.
Yeah.
They don't want to know. So I know I've always got that. That's
oh my God, yeah.
Mate. Do you know what I mean? And you need that. Do you know what I mean? But
yeah,
you've got to have a bit of everything. So yeah.
You've come from being a club boxer. You win an ABA title and everything. Things are going really well. Your name's getting out there. You're picked for Team GB. I mean, how was that switching from? I won't say you're a road man, but but just going into that situation where it was regimented, and you had to stay there Monday to Thursday and all of that kind of thing. How did that affect you?
Well, yeah, it went to one extreme to another, but then like I kind of kept myself on the build up, and what was separating me from everyone else, where I started late and whatnot. I was kind of disciplining myself and isolating myself from others, and doing that anyway. Do you know what I mean? Day in and day out, and I was probably doing it too much, and even Mickey May and all the lads at West Ham are going, "You're gonna burn out. Switch off." But I was so focused and wanted to catch up with everyone. I just isolated and just made myself so disciplined and so structured. Do you know what I mean? Like to the game. So when I got onto there, to be fair, it was a bit more easier because you kind of knew what you was doing. Everything was planned out every day. So yeah, like it's one extreme to another, because it's like going back to school as well. It's like, do you know what I mean? I hate school. I couldn't be in school, and I was just, but. It's part of the apprenticeship. It's part of it. Do you know what I mean? It's part of parcel. And if you want to get to these things in life, sometimes you've got to do things you don't really want to do. And I thought, listen, GB was a big role in my career. I loved the last year on it was great. I had a great year. Like it was. Do you know what I mean? I ended up on a high, but. Yeah, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. Do you know what I mean?
One of the things I like about you, and one of the things that stands out about you, is the fact that you are, for lack of a better description, you're not a typical boxer. When you look at your social media, you dance, you sing, and you truly look like you're enjoying that. Talk to me about how you got into dancing and, well, the whole sort of entertainment side of things.
Yeah, like, don't get me wrong, I was brought up in UK rap and all that stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that's, I love it. I love all of it. I love all of it. Do you know what I mean? But like, I don't know. I remember hearing like old songs, like country songs and things like that. And it was probably listening. No, it was Hank Williams. It was a Hank Williams song, right? I was listening to it on a train, and it was a story, and I just thought they always told these real life emotional stories, and I could relate, man. And it just got to me, and then I started like looking deeper, and then I remember looking on YouTube and these old films. Back then, everyone could dance, and I just thought, mate, I thought that's cool. Imagine going to a wedding and start banging out all these. I just thought I loved it, and then I thought, like, obviously, I thought I was instead of going back home when I was on GB, I thought instead of taking my mum out for dinner, I was like, I said, let's go learn how to dance or something. Do you know what I mean? Just a bit of crack, just a bit of bonding or something. Do you know what I mean? And me being me, I bloody took it to extreme. I was doing more dancing than I was boxing. I had to hold it back a bit. Do you know what I mean? I was going up to Sheffield, training on the Olympic team, and then after the sessions finished, I went into the dance lessons in Sheffield. I was training up there for dancing, training in London for dance. I thought to myself, I need to chill out. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it was just like, I don't know. I just love the whole look. The stories are real, and they're just it's just happy music. It keeps me happy. Do you know what I mean? Like, music back then was influencing me from do you know what I mean? And when you're inspired by the lads who are rapping, and you think some of the things they're talking about is the right thing to do, when it's not. Do you know what I mean?
Do you think, though, sometimes as well that there's people expect you to listen to one type of music, and here's this tough kid, let's be fair, he can fight, he can have it, but also he likes dancing, and so I think that was a bit of a revelation to some people. Do you not think?
Yeah, probably to me as well, because I went from walking around my estate, in True Religion jeans and Ralph or whatever, listening to gigs and Young Meth and all that, to walking around in a suit listening to Elvis Presley. You alright, lads? Oh, Jordan. Oh, fucking hell. Do you know what I mean? And do you know what? I just that was just me. I just thought I kept it real, mate. And then people seem to take it liking to it. So I just be myself. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how to shy away. I don't know how to act differently. I just think, do you know what? I am what I am. So
yeah. What is beautiful about that is, this is a very masculine sport, and yet you seem fearless about showing that side of yourself, having fun. Some people may think like, oh, you should be all rough and tough and not showing a soft side, and yet you're able to do it and get away with it. Is it something that I guess gives you a bit of escapism from the business side of things?
Yeah, I would say it's a great switch off. I think it works as well. Like I love my boxing, I love what I do, but I love the dancing, I love the singing, and all that stuff there helps with the boxing, with the business side anyway. So it brands me. So I'm like, I'm in a win-win situation. So I'm just like, do you know what? I think it's a mad thing to do. Whatever I think, I just do it. It can be a video. I'll make some mad bit. Everything on my Instagram is all me. It's me. I can be somewhere and I think, oh, this is make a funny video. I've got a funny thing. Funny songs come in my head, and I just do it. I'm like, I don't know. I just, do you know what I mean? And I suppose it's like an escape. It's like an escape. Do you know what I mean?
To be fair, I think that you kind of mastered that way before other people mastered it, and it doesn't seem so. What's the word I'm looking for? So fake. Like you're saying, it just comes to, oh, that'll do, I'll do that kind of thing. But that's kind of seems like you've always been like, you don't follow the rules as such.
Yeah, I just think you got to like, do it as well. I always look at things. I always think like, I don't want to be the same old. Do you know what I mean? Like even when they went for a stage where it was like, team this, team that, team this, as well self. Oh, I ain't team. It's just the same old thing. I just feel like I just want to be. It's good to be. I just think it's good to be different. Like I know lads who are going, they're listening to rap music, but they don't even like the music. Like, what's your favourite song? And it's like,
what are they saying? What are they actually saying?
Do you know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know, man. People just go with the trends instead of what they like.
So in terms of you doing you've taken yourself away from sort of home. You've popped yourself off to Ireland. How is that going for you?
Yeah, listen, like it made sense to me at the time because it's away from a lot of distractions. Yeah, it's away from a lot of distractions. So, I in my head, I've always thought to myself, for so many years, I've always chose the hard road and done the hard things to try and benefit myself. I've kind of thought, go away from the country, go away from your family, go away from your friends, go somewhere you don't know anyone, and thinking that it's the best thing to do, but sometimes it ain't. And you know where I'm at now, been here for a year. I love it. I've learned so much. I come on leaps and bounds, but I think I will be back in London personally, because it's just like with the lockdown and COVID and all this situation, like it's like I'm making it hard for myself. Like I've made it like 10 times harder for myself. Like I can't just get up and go get a massage or therapist or go to a gym, because I don't like back at home. I know in London. I know everyone. Like everyone's sound. I know everyone. Do you know what I mean? So you know, people do favors you here and there, and you help people out. And I can't go to do my strength coach. I can't do certain things. So I'm kind of a bit stuck, and I feel like I'm kind of missing out on a few things. So, and especially with my days off, right? I thought to myself, like, I FaceTime my nephew every day. I think to myself, like, like he's my, I see him as my boy. I love the kid. Do you know what I mean? I love him, and like, I was thinking to myself, man, I could be just driving there, making sure that he's all right, and spending the weekend with him. And it's little things like that. And sometimes I'm like, at this time now, like weekends come, I'm locked in a room. Do you know what I mean? So, and then I'm paying out silly money and things like that. So I've kind of got to analyse it all up. I've been feeling like this for a long time, but I do want to just rush. Sometimes you need to know, and I thought to myself, I don't want to just reset and then start off again. I want to get this debut, because this debu's been pushed back. I thought to myself, nah, I need to hang on. I just need to hang on and then get this debut out of the way, and then just analyse everything, and don't make no rash decisions. You know.
That seems like a very wise thing to do. And I have to say, I think what COVID has done has made a lot of people reevaluate a lot of things.
Yeah, because you know what, like, it was good. Like, don't get me wrong, like last year, the year before, 2 years ago, when I was coming here, I was like, I'll train. Then I go back. I don't want to be. I like being by myself anyway. I'm good as gold by myself. I enjoy my own company, alright. But I would go out. I would finish my training. I'd go to Dublin, and I would just go into all the bars. I would drink, have a cup of tea and that. But it'd be all like live bands and things like that. And then I walk in not knowing anyone. Then I walk out knowing the whole pub.
Yeah.
Or probably be end up on the mic. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, do you know what I mean? So like, it's all that kind of plays its part. Do you know what I mean? So
I can imagine. Jordan's here.
Oh, no, yeah. Fuck's sake. It's like that. When my mates are in the car, they're like, give me the aux. Do you know what I mean? They don't let me touch the aux. Do you know what I mean? So they're sick of my music, but it's what it is.
I have to say, I do admire you for taking yourself away, but there comes a point that you have to do what's best for you, really.
For sure. And I've got, like, it's at the end of the day, it's a selfish sport. You've got to do what's best for you. I've got one chance to make this. Like, I don't really want to do anything else. Like, my goal is, don't get me wrong, I want to be British champion, traditional, win all the belts. But anyone who says they're in it not for the money, they're liars, because, like, I want to be financially free. I want to set up my kids and make them not go through what I went through. I mean, I could go on the school holidays and have all the best stuff. I was like, I could go home and ask my mum for money. You man, I couldn't do that. I couldn't even see it. I would never want to see her go, oh no, because I won't put her in that position or situation. So I'll be like, nah, I can't wait to just, it's fine. Do you know what I mean? To be able to just deliver and just take that pressure off your shoulders. Do you know what I mean? Because it's just, life's hard as it is. Do you know what I mean? So.
I'm telling you. But bloody hell, so it's been 2 years and finally we're about to see you this month have your debut. Okay, so I think there's a competition between you and Masood Abdullah. The longest awaited debut in the history of boxing debuts. I'm going to have to count how many days.
Yeah, we're going to see. Yeah, so
I think you might be winning.
I think I've won it, mate. And
I think you have.
Especially with the drama that's gone with it. Like,
jeez, what's going on?
So I had I was supposed to make my debut in June, right? Then or something or whatever, and then the whole pandemic come through, so they pushed it back. Then I thought I was going to fight in October or something like that. Then there was all big delays with my medicals and things like that. So I was like, no, like, and
someone's getting it.
Yeah, I was fuming because it was 3 or 4 days before the debut fight. And I just made weight and everything. I was gutted. So then from then, everything was just back in lockdown and things like that. So I moved back home. I was like, kept training, and and then finally they gave me a date for March now. Got that away, but I got an email on Friday saying, oh, because it's been a year or whatnot, your medicals have run out. So I'm going. Oh mate, and they emailed me Friday night. Yeah, so I was like, what? So Saturday, Sunday, nothing really even open. So I've done as much as I can. Then Monday, Tuesday, I've got everything done. Then as I'm getting everything done, I'm emailing. They're saying, oh, now we want your surgery report from 7 years ago. So I'm like, what? So I'm like, I had to ring the surgeon. Then I had to pay him fucking 500-600 quid, which was like I'm paying out someone just to find me a report, just to do an errand. Do you know what I mean? It was one thing after another. I just thought to myself, do you know what? Resilience, mate. Like, it is what it is. I don't want to stress. Do you know what I mean? So like, now I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. March the 12th, the Wanderer takes on the Camden Caretaker. Ding, ding, ding. It's coming.
I tell you what.
The Camden is from your area.
I know. I know who it is as well. He's a nice kid and all.
He's lovely.
He's a lovely kid, to be fair.
Yeah, he's good as gold. I can't even. Do you know what? It's just business. It's like.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's nothing personal. It's business, and I'll literally finish. I'll have a few beers with him, and do you know what I mean? I think he's sound. Then I'll head back home, and I've got a massive after party waiting for me.
Oh my gosh. Well, listen, you deserve it. You deserve good things, honestly. Jordan, I've watched you for forever. Forever and ever.
Fucking Joe's class. I love it. It's class because them days there, the juniors and that, they were the best days. They were my favourite times. The experience, even like turning up, there used to be like 10 of us West Ham lads, all in our tracksuits and things like that, and just like, do you know what I mean? We knew when West Ham Repton walked in, we had to fear. Everyone was
it's true.
Yeah.
You lot were rowdy. Your crowds were rowdy as well. You know what? I used to wear earplugs anyway as a judge, because I tell you why. Because you know that when people try to persuade you, you're like, what? And which.
They're jabbed. It'd be like this.
It'd be that far away. Or shot, and you think that didn't even connect.
Yeah.
So listen, I mean, literally, what is brilliant is to see someone like you. Listen, I don't know about anybody else, but particularly in the amateur game, people get involved in coaching to change people's lives. It sounds quite dramatic, but I think that's generally why people do it. So when you see a kid like you come into the sport and transform yourself in the way that you have, it's actually amazing to watch. And I'm so glad that you're doing well. I'm so glad that you are, because you are a role model.
Yeah.
You are a role model.
I'll try. Listen, I know how it is. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you know what I mean? And I'll give anyone a helping hand. Do you know what I mean? Simple as that. Because, like I said, times are hard, and when you get teachers and whatnot telling you things which they've never even been through,
yeah,
it's good to have someone to relate to. Do you know what I mean? So, it's been some good times, man.
Yeah, I wish you.
You got me reminiscent, man. That's sad.
Say that again.
You got me thinking back. You know what I mean?
I know. But listen, for me, the same for like I feel old. I'm like, God, I just remember when you was a little kid. I can see it in my mind's eye. You bashing the so and so, and we're all like.
I used to be a savage, man.
You were. To be fair, you were.
Yeah, so you get to a point, you get to an age where then you become senior and things like that. You think, right, you got to be careful now because there's no way guards, they're men. Do you know what I mean? So, but yeah. I wish you all the luck on the 12th of March. Yes. Finally. 8 whole days. Finally. It's coming. Please God. Praise God! Hallelujah! Hallelujah! Jordan Reynolds! The Wanderer. Thanks very much. Thank you for having me.